then, we were talking about the Land Rover Defender. Various technical aspects of the four-wheel drive system.
And not the blue one that's sitting outside. Which Daniel says he's up in the Blue Beast. He's got his Blue Beast with him today, boy. But we are here.
We're going to do an auction. We're going to do an auction.
To do an auction. Are we? And that's Tony Hawk's just been. How's Tony? Good? Well, he's actually making a return to the stage. Unfortunately, he doesn't talk much like this anymore, but I'm going to perpetuate the myth that he does. We go back a long way, me and Chris, back to the days of the Green Git. That's all the stuff we did on stage many years ago. What are you doing, Bob? I
want that one. So that's better.
Okay,
that's very special.
What was that? Original phrase?
It was the Red Dwarf 10 concept art, Chris. Yeah.
So we have
Red
Dwarf concept art.
So this is the design for the Trojan spaceship, and that's you there. That's you there, sir.
That's Doug.
Oh, is it Doug?
Yeah. Oh, it is. It's Doug. When did you last have your eyes tested?
Well, it was where you sat.
It's where I sat, ladies and gentlemen, but Mr. Doug sitting there in this concept art picture, beautifully lit, beautifully done. And of course, Doug has signed it, top right-hand corner. An exclusive item, if ever there was.
Very, very exclusive.
So where shall we start the bidding?
Oh my goodness, look at that, straight in there, 20. Shocking.
20
pounds.
We have to start the bidding slightly more high than that, but anyway, £20 we have, front row.
I was prepared to go to 15, so I'm already out.
£20 in the front row, worth much more than that, ladies and gentlemen. There is Doug, very rare.
To get a picture of Doug is very difficult.
And he's beautifully uplit as well. The detail of this is extraordinary. And is that you in the background, Bob, sort of preparing a cue board?
I think it is. It's me writing out my lines on a bit of cardboard.
30 over there.
30. Oh my God.
30. It's against you, sir.
40.
40.
This is going to be one hot.
Oh, you can show it off round again.
Yes.
We've got 40.
We've got £40 now. We don't know where from. Just someone just shouted that 40 randomly. Oh, there you are. Oh, very good. 41, Dan. 50.
We're going up in 10s, 50. Thank you, sir. 50. Any more than 50?
50.
I'm looking for 60. 50 in this room is worth that all day.
50 of your old-fashioned UK pounds. They're lovely pounds, Chris. I'm not denigrating them. So nothing.
Old-fashioned. Thank God we didn't go to the euro. Let's not get political. Where are we? £50. We want 60 though. I think it's worth much more than that all the way. We can't spend too long on this.
I think 60. Oh my goodness.
60 over there.
60 something.
60.
We have gone up to 60 now, I'm sure.
60. Do we hear 70? 70 here. 70 we have here from the gentleman. It's against you. 80. 70 to this man, who I recognise from our coffee lounge sessions.
From Canada, where they didn't have a recession during the banking crisis because they didn't do the gambling in their banks. But they're also selling tar sands to America. But you know, we can go on. No, that's not yours.
A world of possibilities. That was the answer for Air Canada, wasn't it? But the 70. We want 80 though. It's worth. Well up. Come on. I see Sean preparing to bid down there. Is that a bid? No, it's a giggle. A hair shake. 70. Are we going to say 70? 70 ladies and 3 goings. Gone. There. Yeah. We're hearing it's rare. I'm sure I saw about 50 of those in Wrexham the other week. No, it's rare. It's rare.
This is a Star Bug t-shirt. A Star Bug t-shirt.
Very small. Doesn't say. Oh, extra large.
Extra large.
So Bob, you must be extra large. Massive.
I've had a few extra hard drives fitted, sir. There's nothing wrong with that.
You've been on the mechanoid pie, so to speak. Right, where are we going to start the bidding for this extremely rare, extra large Starbuck t-shirt, ladies and gentlemen?
10.
10 over here.
Straight in at 10. 20. Goodness. 20 pounds.
Going up in tens. Hold that thought, though.
Yeah.
Might switch to 5 in any second. Do we have 30 for this rare?
30 in the back.
30 in the back. 30 in the back. Do we hear 40? 40. 40.
Didn't see that one coming.
Someone knows the rarity of this. We've got 40. 40 at the front in a slightly more common ace t-shirt I can see he's wearing.
I think they destroyed the screen, which they did the screen printing with after this plane. That's how rare it is.
Unfortunately, with this gentleman here in the second row, do I hear a 50? No, I can hear some chuckling out the corridor. I don't think it was 50. 50 anywhere in the room.
The screen printer's at 50.
50.
The chuckling out there is the screen printer's making another one.
50. Is he getting it for 60? 60? Go on.
Oh my
£60.
£60. £60.
£60.
Full t-shirt.
Are we hearing 70?
I think,
No.
oh my goodness.
70?
Oh my goodness.
80? Okay, at this stage, we'll take it away. 75? So it's with you, sir. £70. £70. Free go. Anyone else in the room want to come in?
Oh, that's how you get drama in it.
£80. New bidder at the back.
What, the man who's just run out?
So it's 80 at the back.
80 at the back. Any advance on 80? I think
Anyone else in the room want to join in? It's 80 at the back. We're going to wrap it up with 3 goings and a go. Going.
Gone.
That will not fit you.
All those unnecessary inny and outy bits. This is genuinely Chloe Annette's boob tube. So, Chloe Annette's quite magnificent bosom has been housed in this sculpture. I've ordered it many times.
Yes, it's a label at the top.
I think it's I shouldn't have buried the last.
Top shot.
Top shot.
No expense paid on Redbird budget. 40. What's the penny more?
50.
50. 50 against you. 50. Do I hear 60?
Fabulous Red Dwarf memorabilia goes for like 10, 15 quid. Chloe Annette's boob tube, 17,000 quid. The Top Shot boob tube.
What are we? We're
50.
50.
My goodness.
50, yeah. We're looking for 60 then. It's amazing how it's 40 enthusiastically. It got to 50 enthusiastically, and everyone's now going, what are you suddenly thinking about this?
It's a bit like my age. I started at 40 enthusiastically. I got to 50. It's got an interesting stain on the back.
I was going to call it a mark. You've called it a stain.
It's marked. It's marked.
Possibly some blue ink.
I can remember her wearing this.
one up fairly quickly. We've got 50 over here, and it's going 3 times. Going, going, gone.
If you bid £50 on that, can you come up?
And the t-shirt.
And the t-shirt as well. So the O&X is probably not a size 10.
So those are
size 3.
Art Deco dry clean label.
That is nice. The label alone. It's from Beaver. Gee, that is Beaver. You're all too young to remember, but Beaver was a really hip shop in the 1970s. That is the coolest 70s top.
I would actually say this is a historic collector's item. And he's on £10 for it, and Chloe for it, which makes it even more interesting. £10 we have already. 20. 20 at the back, sir. Thank you. Do I hear 30?
This beautiful Chloe in it, worn on red
Itchy neck, not a bit. Not a bit.
Yeah. 20.
We've got 20 at the back, we're looking for 30. I think it's well worth that all the way.
Was that a bid? Oh, that was a bid.
£30.
That's a subtle bid. That is a professional. Don't attend it, just go actually.
You know.
It's like Sean Connery.
You will be wearing it tonight. At the moment, unless someone can can say and offer more than £30 with you in the aisle. I'm looking for 40. 40, 40, 40. 40? You probably won't be wearing it tonight. You can do it. Let's hear 50. In the form of a bid. Do we hear 50? Contemplative looks. Got that word wrong.
Yeah.
We've got 40 with the gentleman, 40 here. Can we hear 50? If this really is Bieber, as Bobby says, that's a legendary fashion line from the 1960s, originally there in Mont Silvera, I think. Bollocks. Right. We're 40 with this gentleman, aren't we? 40. Should we say it?
I think so. We could do it going.
Yeah, good one. Going.
I know that's real. That is a section of the original Red Dwarf model.
Not quite the original.
That is a section of not quite the original.
Model that got chopped down to 10. That's the bit that got chopped off.
Right. But did that not come from? That didn't come from the original one, and then got chopped off to make the new one.
It got chopped off from the remastered long form.
So it's a remastered long form. It's so unoriginal. 10p. Look, it's pretty amazing because you've got that's where the lights come through there.
Yeah. It's making my juices slow.
We're going to do a demonstration.
Bobby knows what he's doing. Yes. Well done, Bob. I'm amazed by your creativity. Look at the fun we've had with this.
Hours
In a mere minute. So, I think it's a very important piece of Red Dwarf memorabilia, this. It would look good anyway. I think for the light trick that Bobby's doing, you can have that sort of in any room in the house. It can be, a piece of Red Dwarf there with you all the time.
5. Oh, well, hold on. Oh,
£40 over here on the left.
45.
50. I want to hear 60.
60.
Oh,
60. Coming round, ladies and gentlemen, we have £60 already. Looking for 70.
70.
70.
70, we have over by the wall.
70. Any more?
70, take a good look.
God, that's what that happened so far. So come on, 75, okay, 80 here, 80 here, 80. 90.
90.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
100 and the gentleman here. 110 we're looking for. 110. So with the gentleman here. 110 we're looking for.
But we're not fighting it.
Just take a look at that rare and unique artifact.
And it's a really comfortable when you show it to someone, if you buy this, you can say this was part of the original, not original, artifact from the non-movable, new, reshortened Red Dwarf, which wasn't featured in season 10 because it was left on the table. Really shouldn't be saying that now. But it was part of the model, because we saw the model, and I know that's part of the model. At some point in its life, it's been part of the model.
We'll just say, it's a bit of Red Dwarf memory.
Yeah, it's quicker.
£100 though, and we are going to wrap this one up in a minute.
110.
Oh,
110.
Oh, that's what you like, that bit of drama there.
120.
Oh my goodness!
No way.
Looking for 130 because we do want to wrap this one up. 120, gentleman in the aisle, key bidder on this one.
130.
Oh my goodness!
130.
Oh, this is just
It's against you. 140 we're hearing. 140 in the aisle. 140 in the aisle. Do I hear 150? Wrap it up in a minute. 140 to the gentleman in the aisle, stroking his beard head. 140, and it's going at 140. Going. Gone.
and technically accurate way. No jokes. No funny walks.
I don't see why not. Well, first hand I saw go up was the gentleman.
Oh, getting under her around.
Oh,
Hey, Robert.
Angelica, right, where's she?
Don't need microphone.
Gentleman.
gentleman from Worcestershire.
That's it.
There I go.
There he is.
Well, the thing is, if they shout out questions, we can repeat them so that everybody can hear. But we'll just do that.
Robert, what's coming after news from the squares?
Oh, what a brilliantly good question, and how very foresightful of you to ask that. Wait a minute, you said what's coming after news from the squares? Oh my God. I don't know. I'll explain to those of you who don't know, very briefly. This is a book called News from Gardenia. It's a science fiction book set 200 years in the future where everything is better than today, as opposed to worse. In theory, that's the idea. And the follow-on book is called News from the Squares, which is the same character, the hero from this book, goes into another future possible world and discovers a whole other world of complexity and challenging stuff for him as a 32-year-old engineer who's just a bit nerdy, but in a lovely and charming way. And I've just finished writing the second book, and it's going to be a trilogy. That's the theory, but I don't know what the third one's going to be about. I think it just might contain massive amounts of shagging and lusty warrior women with huge bosoms and great big swords. I've always wanted to have a cover of a book which has
Might buy it then.
there's a busty warrior woman with a blood-dripping sword and a man's head in the other hand, and it's got nothing to do with that whatsoever, but the cover would do. But yeah, so I'm busy doing it at the moment when I'm not here. So that's, I don't know if that answers the question, but I really don't know what's going to happen after News from the Squares.
You choose who you like to...
Well, if we can do one here, then...
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay, yes. Oh, right. I was pointing. Right, it's good. We'll do that. We'll come to you in a minute, sir.
Everything all right up there?
Yes, very good.
My question is to both of you. What are your thoughts and feelings of being a part of a hit cult series that's been going for the last 25 years?
I think a good feeling. Initially, to be honest, when Red Dwarf first series started, I really thought, well, look, this is either just die a death completely, or it's going to take off, and sort of be rocketed to, you know, continual series by not necessarily large audience, but a smaller audience who really love it, and that's kind of what happened. And 25 years on, I think I might have said earlier, I think that the great thing for me is it's totally, well, just about totally original in terms of the cast and, you know, the sort of direction of it with Doug in charge. So, and that's, I think, unique. You know, in this ever-changing world, TV has changed dramatically in the 25 years that we've been doing Red Dwarf, and I just think it's brilliant to be almost virtually alone in doing something that's absolutely as it was in essence 25 years ago, and that is, as I say, a unique feeling. So it's getting better and better. That's my feeling about it.
Yes. I mean, it's a constant source of surprise for me. I just couldn't imagine that would possibly be. You know, I can't. I know that 24 years it's been for me. I'm the new boy. 24 years ago, I know that I could not possibly have imagined. And if someone had run through a rip in the time-space continuum to come and tell me you'll still be doing this when you're an old bloke, I go, no, silly, I'm not doing that at all. I'll be a well-affected Shakespearean thespian. But no, I've never been that. But it is so bizarre that we're still doing it. I mean, it really is very confusing and wonderful. I mean, it is brilliant.
And Series 10 really did feel like a new beginning,
yes,
to a sort of beginning at the end. Because, you know, even in the 10 years between doing, maybe if you sort of, not for necessarily the obvious reasons, forget about Back to Earth. Damn good. It had its points. But if you look at sort of the last 6 episodes of the studio audience that we did in Series 8, and then compare that with Series 10, I mean, a lot of technology, a lot of, you know, huge industry changes have happened. And, you know, so it gave us an opportunity to bring sort of new areas in, new sort of outlooks, new phrases, new, you know, relationships, and I just think it's a completely new gear we're in now, and we're just going to keep going up a level, you know, so it's all good. Next question.
We had a question over here, didn't we, that I missed?
Well, there was a gentleman down here.
Mr. Barrie, what you say was the most embarrassing moment about the whole series?
Of the entire series, yes, entire.
1 to 10.
You go first. Thanks, Paul. I mean, it's basically, well, for me, it was from the day I started working on it until late last year when we finished Series 10. It's just because I'm just crap, you know. Constantly walking around going, he is. No, but I mean, I couldn't pick out one moment which was more embarrassing than the other embarrassing moment. But I mean, it's only from the point of view of like just going. I
think if you get embarrassed easily, Red Dwarf's not a place to work. You know, I think in the early days when because we've been doing Red Dwarf in my case, Craig and Danny in my case, roughly sort of in our 20s, 30s, 40s, and now 50s. So we've known each other as people through those decades. In the 20s, you're always hungry to sort of get on, get going, and sort of be good, have a great career. In your 30s, you're kind of thinking, well, yeah, not doing too bad at the moment, take it easy, maybe this is the best time to do things. 40s, you're thinking, right, family, settle down, got to think about security. In the 50s, you're kind of thinking, well, there's anything else you want to do, but start doing it, otherwise. So we've known each other through that period. So at the beginning, you might get on more embarrassed. When you're younger, you do get more embarrassed. But now, I just don't think there's that much that gets us embarrassed. I mean, hey, Craig and I run around Shepperton Studios with nothing on, with ball caps on.
That was last week.
Yeah, we did it for the show as well. I can't really remember.
No, I think embarrassment isn't one of the key emotions that we suffer. Anxiety. Depression I get at about 5:30 in the morning when I wake up and realise I'm going to spend the day in rubber.
Robert has gone through some, torrid times, I have to say. It's been so easy for us when, you're actually getting against a brick wall, spending the 17th hour in the last, You know, he used to, you know, in the early days of Lance, Robert was in makeup sort of 5 o'clock in the morning, you know. I'll be there at 9:15, age.
Chris used to make a sort of big, really going to stick it on. Oh! There we go.
So he's been through a hell of a lot more in that area. Reagan, I think.
Right, we'll sit on this side of the room.
Chris, one for Chris. What was your favourite spitting image character to do?
Oh, and would you do it?
Well, I mean, again, at the time, there were so many characters who were the favourite ones to do. I think the challenge was always finding a new voice and a new avenue of comedy for that character, flatten law to go to the trouble of studying, you know, the character to physically make it. Obviously, Reagan was a key character through those years, and
Well, often I would watch Mrs. Thatcher's cute ass wiggle at the gangplank. I would think to myself, Ronnie, what a pity it's just your country you're screwing.
David Coleman was quite
Yeah,
fun.
that's my favourite.
But yeah, that little John-Jules who was quite to try and get the voice of the character.
The Bar Black Sheep is that is my favourite character, which I don't remember.
Would you like to perform it for us?
No.
You remind me of that one later on. I mean, obviously I can't remember everything, but clearly.
Yeah, he gets poked with a stick halfway through the performance.
Oh, you Bob! I got you now. So yeah, there were lots of characters. Obviously, you know, Neil Kinnock, lovely nurses, and lovely, you know, with that sort of bit that went over his head. And yeah, obviously Margaret Thatcher, I didn't do her voice, but Stephen Allen's job on her was a good, great performance. So yeah, I suppose a few of them. Prince Charles, I'd love to play again with Mr. Wobbly Hayden Allen. That's surreal for me to remember. That's kind of lifetime ago. But I hope there's a selection.
We've got another one over here.
Excuse my voice, guys. Chris, another one for you. Can you remember the river special salute? Could you show us it?
I shall venture forth. Well, the river special salute in slow motion is obviously you're standing at a 10-2 stance, and then it is, don't get the wrong idea, but it is almost a salute that if someone took a photograph of me with my hand raised, I could be, you know, particularly as UKIP done so well, I could be in a lot of trouble. But of course, then it becomes the unique special river salute because you start to rotate. And it can be any way. It can be either that way, if Rimsey's in a good mood, if he's on something good, and it can happen a number of times. 5 is the optimum number. And then from there, it goes up to a standard, I'd say, British forces, circa 50s, 70s, salutes, and then fastest way down. So, here we go again.
Question at the back of the room here.
Okay.
When you're making the early episodes, did you realise how good it actually was?
No, actually. I
should have done, really. We all did.
There was Craig and I in that sort of dim corridor in these funny sort of outfits, sort of with this cadmium vending machine thing, and it was just, the audience didn't know what it was like really. They, things were amusing, I mean, as I said to the gentleman earlier, I think, I thought someone is going to catch on to the ideas here and the characterizations, and it's either going to sink without trace or it's going to do that, So I didn't really realise how good it was until after the first series. And then when you saw people who actually got to this, then I thought, hey, this could gain traction. And by the second and third series, you began to see, Rob and Doug's genius in the writing, really, really blossoming. You knew that we really did know we were on something, particularly, when the audiences, series 3, for example, the audiences, even with some days, we couldn't get the lines out because the laughter was so much, which that's a mark of a successful show.
And that's certainly when it hit me. I think this one we were recording Hollywood, so I think this was the second episode we recorded of series 3. So, I can't quite remember how it all worked out, but it was that night that I realised this audience they don't only get all the jokes, they get the build up and the lead into the joke and the feed line to the joke and then the joke and then the after joke punchline, And then you went, that is an incredible experience as a live performer to have an audience that much on your side, and that was a really noticeable thing. And obviously the infamous removing the shrinking boxer shorts was a scene we had to shoot quite a few times, strangely, not because we were getting it wrong, but because we literally couldn't hear each other. And I was about this far from Chris, and I had to hear his.
Well, I had to come in while you were, Exactly. I thought I could wait here probably the best part of the next 5 years. While the audience are laughing before I come out with the line, Mr. You'd bong anything.
Yes, it was. Yes, I couldn't hear it. I had no idea, and I couldn't see Chris, so I was going. I too.
The more you did that, the more I couldn't say the line. So I did at the end have to ride the laugh and just to get the scene going. But that was in many ways that was sort of extraordinary heat at the end of the Manchester shows. That's right. It was like magic.
Okay, we've got a question over here at the back.
My question is for Rob. How did you come up with the voice for Crichton?
It went through many different phases. So, this is when we were in accent, wasn't it? So we were rehearsing in the old BBC rehearsal rooms in accent, and I know that Crichton spent probably a few hours in rehearsal as a Swedish, as Volvo, with side impact bars and send out airbags. From excellent safety, so nobody gets injured. And I remember doing some scenes, Mr. Lister, they hit me, breakfast. And then I think I've got a memory of Craig hitting me, sort of going, shut up with the bloody speech. But it was very unknown. I mean, all we wanted to do was not do C-3PO, not do Marvin the Paranoid Android, find a mechanoid character that wasn't sort of a posh British butler, which would be the obvious thing, Mr. Lister, here's your coffee, it would have been.
Bobby was going through every accent known as planet Earth, sort of for several days, weren't you?
It did take a while.
And some of them I thought, he could go anywhere with this because he's doing them all so well, but Craig is walking around, Bobby would stop doing fucking accents. He's doing like an Eastern European accent, and it fucking gets me back. No, he didn't do that, he didn't. Facial expression, which said that.
So and I spent some time, and I apologise to any Canadian attendees, and I spent quite a lot of time in Vancouver the year before I did Red Dwarf, so I thought I'll do a Canadian accent, because I know what that's like. And so then I did a Boston accent. I've been told since, that to a lot of American people think of Crichton as a because it's Lloyd Grossman is the obvious sort of reference point, it's so posh. So it's like the American Tim Nicebert did. There's an American who thinks he's very cultured. I've read a lot of books. They sort of half want to be British and posh, but they don't.
Sir River, sir, you are a piece of
usual.
Yeah. So that's sort of where it came from, and then it kind of just eventually just took up. I don't even know what it is now. But that is one of the bizarre things, certainly coming back to Red Dwarf, that there was a real proper period of panic for me where I went, because I don't do acting anymore, you know, I do TV presenting or writing or just crying in a corner. And then so I thought, and just before we started, I went, I honestly do not know whether to do this. I don't do this anymore, I can't. What do I do? And then the makeup went on and costume went on, and I went, there we go. Honestly, you don't know. I just don't know what happened. Something happened. It's right in my head.
Okay, we're in the centre of the room over here.
Congratulations, guys, on your 25 years. Obviously, this year is the 50th anniversary of Doctor Who. What are the chances of a crossover?
I'm old enough to, I saw the very first episode of Doctor Who, right in the living day, I was probably about 7 or 8 years old. And I've always loved the Daleks. I'm a big Dalek fan. I think it's doubtful. I think there's a sort of stylistic clash that could be like crossing the beams in Ghostbusters. You just can't do that, you know.
Like Bob, I think some of the earlier ones were my favourite. In fact, my son, who's 13, he thinks the earlier ones, black and white Cybermen, are much more frightening than the later ones, you know, the sort of Patrick Troughton era. And I watched, you know, some of the early ones recently with him, and I thought the same. I thought that sort of slightly brainy thing, it's more sinister, you know. So yeah, I'm a big fan of the older Doctor Who's, the new ones. Last night, the other night in Nottingham, I think it was quite clear I wasn't really a fan of them.
You made that clear.
I did make
the audience knew, they weren't in any doubt.
But a crossover you talk about, so I'll tell you what, to have some of that budget.
Yeah. We're going to have a budget.
We'll have that, please, yeah. Like a drop of a hat.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. Question for Doug, that interesting question for answer you get from Doug, I'm sure, but I can't see it.
I think the question to ask, Doug, is if the Red Dwarf and Doctor Who budgets were combined and then split 50-50, would you be happy? Yes.
Okay, we'll just do the front here.
My question is for Rob. Throughout Red Dwarf, you've played many other characters aside from Triton, like Bongo and Data Doctor. Which has been your favourite and why?
I think that, to be honest, the Data Doctor, there's not a lot of TV work I've done that I can watch, but I can watch Red Dwarf. I've watched it with my kids in the past, and I enjoy it because I enjoy watching everybody else's performance. And the one performance I've ever done where I'm not with a rubber head on, which I don't mind watching that so much because it's not me, but it's the Data Doctor. I think the Data Doctor is awesome. I want that wig. I want to wear it all the time. Be the Data Doctor. I love the Data Doctor.
Well, I would never have said that, Bob.
I love Big Bongo. Big Bongo got very excited when Ace walked in.
Well, most people do.
Okay, still in the front here.
There's a lady, young lady with glasses on
whose arm has actually gone blue from Next.
This one's for Robert. In Gunman of the Apocalypse, what was your impression of Mr. Lister riding a horse?
Oh, as in, yes. Well, it was a special day when we were on the horses in the western wilds of Kent. But they were wonderful horses. They were stunt horses. They were proper stunt horses that can ride along flat out and then roll over. You know, so they look like they're falling over and being shot, and they would do that. And the guy, it was French, wasn't he, the trainer, and he could just sort of go, and then the horse would just fall on the ground. Really, really well trained, really lovely ponies, and they're quite small.
I mean, Robert and Danny were good horses.
No, I think we
compared to Craig and myself. Yeah, Craig, I was busy concentrating.
Yeah.
Staying on the horse myself, you know. But when we did that charge down the Laredo, the High Street, Laredo High Street, Danny was sort of pretty close proximity. We're just going into it, and I was going, "This is moving well much." You were moving pretty fast for me, you can't ride a horse here, and suddenly Danny went, "Yee-haw!" and the thing took off. And Danny thought, I was thinking, unfortunately, this the horse was a French shepherd. But he brought, as Rob said, brilliantly brought all the horses to almost sort of, I don't know what you call it, drug them. Just with a look, and the horses just sort of stopped and calmed down. And thanks, Dan.
Yeah. Well, I remember Craig hitting his with his hat to see if that worked. It worked. Because they were all trained so well, we were on court, and they just responded instantly. So if one started running, they thought that was action. So they said, "Oh, running, all right, let's do that." They were pretty amazing. But the bit I loved was when the guy explained to us, because when the four gunmen of the apocalypse came up to me, the drunk sheriff, and they were going to shoot guns, which were very loud, and they were firing blanks, but they were. And he said, "Don't worry, the horses are completely used to that. They do it all the time." So they all came up. And these were actors who weren't that cool on horses. I mean, I think one of them in particular hadn't ridden a lot. And they sort of went, whatever the lines were, which obviously I remember perfectly on the day, but I don't know. And they fired the first shot, all four horses just went absolutely apeshit. But
to be fair to all the actors, they still kept acting.
They did.
Said, "I'm good on a horse." They thought they were going to get chucked off, but I'm good. I've got to look good on a horse. But they were. So yeah, that was interesting.
I hadn't ridden, the first time I rode a horse since Gone with the Apocalypse was about 3 years ago with my daughter on a fun ride. I rode a 3.5-ton horse called, no, not 3.5, he's over a ton, he weighs over a ton, he's a Shire horse, like they charged at Agincourt. Well, he's big fella, he's called Brian. And if you go on facial horses for intelligence, Brian's in the lower and his tongue hangs out. And we were doing, it was lovely, beautiful sunny day, we were riding lots of kids on ponies, and a very posh lady we know on her horse, and she said, "Now you just walk along with the children, I'm going off for a jump." And she stormed off on her big hunter, and I went, "Oh, that's good, thank goodness we don't have to do that." But Brian saw it and went, "Hey, Buddy, amazing sound. I mean, not to be rude, but there was stuff coming out there. And I have ridden a lot, but not for many years. And Brian just kept running towards a jump. I managed to steer him away from the jump by putting my heel on his neck and just like. But what I could hear was a ton of horse running across the field. But in the background, there was lots of little girls on very small ponies keeping up. So I basically aimed him into a hedge, thinking that will stop him. He ran straight through the hedge. He smashed the hedge to matchwood. And then, luckily, it was a very steep hill with trees. And then he stopped, and he was lovely.
I had probably the worst date in my life. I'd asked this lady out, where we worked at Spinning Image in Birmingham. I asked her out on a date, and she was a horsey girl. And anyway, she just said, I said, "No drink." And she went, "That's a bit boring, Chris. Why don't we go out horse riding?" I go, "Well, I've never ridden a horse, but I'm willing to go out, willing to do anything you want to do on this date." And we were. So she was late booking the horses. She got 2 last horses in the stable. One was slightly mad, "I'm not all here." And the other one was a cart horse, so you had to sort of push a bit. Are you alive? Anyway, I got the cart horse, and she got the mad horse. And this then it gets scary. She started to go out, so I know a few lanes across the main road. Let's go over there. So she went off on this horse, which was jumping and jittering and very, very fidgety, like no one wanted it. Off she went, and of course my guy, sort of a bit like Robert's horse, so went, she's off, follow that one. Started to go. And then just as we're crossing the road, this Volkswagen Beetle. Volkswagen Beetle, one of those 2-into-1 rather loud exhausts, with a couple of white boys from Birmingham. Doing the accent. Anyway, went round the corner, and racket, absolute racket. Of course, her horse went absolutely mad, and of course chucked her off, and then ran back to the stables. And she was on the ground concussed. I was sitting on the cart horse going, I'm going to get off. And eventually my horse just followed the other horse back, and I was going to go like, the people in the stables said, do you want to get a horse, March? Where's the other rider? On road. Is she okay? No, but we can find out. I went back, and this older elderly couple had stopped, their see it nothing, and sort of got out, and was sort of helping her. And she kind of was looking daggers back at me, I didn't want to stop, but how are you, sort of thing. The bloke sort of says to me, it's an entry, well, they're going to phone up, like hospital, they get her into hospital, she's not in a good shape, So anyway, she was in A&E for the rest of the day. This is true. And then the next time I saw her, was in hospital, she just was not in good shape at all. Then I saw her parents who'd come to the hospital, and they were looking at me. Chris, where's my daughter? I hardly knew her, of course. And then the next time I saw her, 3 weeks later, in Central TV Cafe, and she walked past and said, hi Chris, I said, are you all right now? She went, I might have permanent brain damage. And, that's why in Laredo I was a little bit taken. So, needless to say, I'm prepared to date. That was the only date.
What I like though in the story, which was incredible, I've never heard that one before, was the native vehicles. Well, of the horse, no idea, but it was a beautiful 1963 BMW.
That's everything about that is absolutely the truth. Beware of dates with people who want to do something you don't really want to do. Anyway, last question. One man.
Yep, we're over here, yep.
Hi, if you were 3 million years into deep space, what 3 supplies would you not want to ship to the night off apart from water and oxygen?
What was that? Rachel. Puncture a peg.
Yes, a squadron of Rachels would be good. And I have to say some lubrication cream. I'm honest, that's 2. Let me think about what do you do the first 2?
Puncture a peg, obviously puncture a peg. Dust bags, I would want a big collection of vacuum bags. You can never have too many of those. That's so annoying when you run out. Laundry powder. I'm thinking the romantic stuff.
Several volumes of report forms. Always useful.
A Space Corps Directive database. 17,000 gigabytes.
Yes, I think we can get along quite nice with that.
Oh no, I've just seen Rachel. It's like a dream, you're in the dream. It's a sort of performance thing. You're in the dream and you're on the stage in front of an audience and your flies are undone and there's a inflatable doll saluting you.
I like the hair. Rachel? Yeah. Made the effort today?
She's looking gorgeous. So realistic.
I'm going to see you in fancy dress by now.
Any dress really would be.
Tiny Hawk signed her tits.
This is more and more like a dream. Tony Hawk signed her tits.
That's the line of the day, so
On that note, we've got
man who can really answer that very well, because I've asked him, is Doug Naylor, who's here tomorrow, isn't he? So he is very clear about it, he understands it, and then it's one of those things when someone explains a complicated scientific thing to you, and you understand it while they're saying it, and then 10 minutes later, if you go ask, you go, well, it's because the electricity, oh, I don't know. There is a reason why season 10 is season 10, and season 8 is season 8, and Back to Earth was in the middle. I think it's buried in the story of Back to Earth. I think that's good bullshit, Bob.
It's the ninth kind of outing, or whatever kind in Red Dwarf. So it was 8 normal series before that. And then...
good bullshit, Chris.
So I think retrospectively it was called Series now. If you went into Series... That was like Captain Hollister passing the salad bar. So, Series 10, I think they like the idea of doing RDX, a sort of 21st century kind of RDX. So let's call Back to Earth, the great Back to Earth series. So I hope that answers your question, but ask Doug tomorrow, he'll answer it properly.
Can I start with a show of hands? If you saw Red Dwarf Back to Earth when it was broadcast, those nights, and then you watched it all in, if you've ever watched it all in one go, like on the DVD in one sitting, was it better when you watched it in one sitting than it was when it was broadcast? Thank you. Thank you. It's better in one sitting.
I'm just seeing if I got that call from Danny again.
He's always good about that.
Yeah, I thought you might have been calling these to talk to the audience.
Yeah,
those, but
he
hasn't called me back. So
he usually has to do that because he's not here. on Thursday night we were in Nottingham. It was a wonderful evening, and there was Craig, Chris, and I were sitting on the stage. We got there in time, weird. And Andy's bringing Craig, wasn't he, while we were on the stage. And then he walked in. Of course, he got massive response. Everybody loved him. Everybody loved Danny, even though he was late.
We were trying to stand in for him when he wasn't there.
You did a very good job.
I was doing my best. When he was asked to sing Fun Time, his reaction was very similar. I'm proud to say that mine was doing him. In other words, it was, wow. Looking around, I don't really want to do this. We're going to have a go. But he eventually arrived and brought the house down. And anyway, he'll be here tomorrow, I believe.
I think he's coming tonight.
He comes tonight, yeah.
He's tonight.
Okay, we've got a question over here.
Hi.
Hello, sorry.
From the new series, what was your favourite episode of the film?
I don't want it to be a cliche because I just say it automatically when I've been asked that before, but I do remember Lemon's very fondly. It was very fun to do. There's something about that episode that kind of stuck with us, and I think particularly when we were, we'd been rehearsing, when we shot the scene where I'm explaining historical quirks of the 2,000 years ago to Lister, and Lister goes, Jesus. And that moment where I remember his name, really like that. I forgot his name. The guy, sorry? James Baxter, brilliant. So all James did was turn around and go, when the audience got that moment, when you knew this was a really complicated story, we weren't doing it quite in order and it was all broken up, so you were kind of worried the audience would follow it a bit longer, trying to build a battery to get our Swedish machine to work. It's like, you could think if people could easily lose the plot as they normally do. And that moment was really special, wasn't it? And the laugh that got that was instantaneous and, was really very good.
No, I think Llewellyn's slightly different answer to your question, to a different question. It was probably my favourite, actually, of all 6 shows, that one. I think, we got into areas there which was some of the best work Red Dwarf's ever done. I don't know how you feel about that, but I thought they had so many different dimensions that it was excellent. So we had to reshoot that scene. The only scene we shot outside in the whole series was us walking through the woods. We had to reshoot that due to a technical fault. It was incredibly cold. And I suppose we were thankful, or we were, maybe not you, Bob, you had the latex, but we were just thankful we didn't have to shoot that many scenes outside, because it was bloody cold.
Perfect for me. Perfect operating temperature is, I've realised, is about -7. Everybody else has got huge coats on. I'm going, what's wrong? Someone came and said, do you need a coat? I went, I don't need a coat.
Well, that was Craig, while we were waiting, intended it.
That's right, yeah, that was a brilliant line of Craig.
He just looked at me and said, this is no way for a man to be dressed when he's hurtling towards 50.
Standing in a wood.
I think it was just sort of those.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the most enjoyable to shoot. I think Lennon's was we sort of his art. Trojan was a bit of a bugger to shoot.
Trojan was difficult, but there were lines in Trojan that were just legendary. I mean, the one you quoted the night I've forgotten about, you sprayed him down and gave him a hat. It's just, that was really, and that was the first one we recorded, wasn't it? And then it was just, when that got the laugh, that you kind of felt, oh, I recognise that, that's proper.
Yeah.
A big audience going absolutely ape the first time they've heard it, and we just sprayed him down and gave him a hat.
Yeah, no, it was
hosed him down.
Hosed him down and gave him a hat. It was, Trojan for the Rimmer story was a good episode. But yeah, I think Craig, while we're talking about him, he had bad flu, like proper bad flu. When Craig is in bed with flu, that is serious flu. He's a guy who's pretty, robust, it seems to me. And that was his big week. Father and Sons was a big, huge week for him, as you know. We were extras. I'm sure. He was lots of him talking to himself, and to bring out the performance he did for that, being very ill was a superb effort by him. So that for me, knowing the backstory of that one standing out. I think those 3 episodes would go down as my favourite ones to do in the series.
I went to visit Craig at the height of his illness in his hotel room, and he was not in a good state. And I went in and he went, it's in my chest, man. You got to see it. Yes, he's a miraculous human being.
Okay, we're at the back right over here.
Hi. Is this the thing I read Won the Madness and will end
It's a 2-part question, Bob.
2-part question. Shall I take part 1, part 1, and also part 2? We're certainly not in a position to officially announce or anything like that, but we know we're going to do a Series 11. That's don't know is when, and I think more importantly how. We're all up for it, Doug's up for it, there's a lot of talks going on. I mean, I'm sure Doug will explain more tomorrow, but it's definitely on the cards. It certainly won't be this year, because there's no way we can do it this year now, but it will be as soon as we can, we hope. That's part 1.
Staying on part 1.
Just to say really that, there are sort of, now is the time when all the sort of meetings are taking place, sort of last week, next week, probably within the next 6 weeks we hope. We'll know a few more answers to the questions Bob just said, like how and when. And people will in terms of the, I hope all four of us are there. Who's involved sort of on the other side of the camera?
Yeah. Otherwise, we'll be here next year going, Simon Pegg is really good.
Second part of the question, obviously with Series 10, we try to make it standalone, not make too many back references to earlier series, but you know, it is a question I've been asked a lot, and I would like you to ask that question to Doug.
Yes.
But turn it into a statement. We want Ace back in series.
We'd like you to tell Doug.
I'm sure Danny will be only too happy to give Dwayne Dibley.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I mean, look, it's Ace was just fun to do, and the wig, it's a good wig.
It is a good wig.
So yeah, let's hope so. But I mean, Doug will, if he's going to do Series 11, we know there's going to be another 6 great scripts.
Okay, we've got another question at the back down here.
Other than when acting, have you ever worn a red gingham dress, an army
Well, let's get the army boots out of the way first. Yes. But not with a red gingham dress. Army boots, yes, for I mean, you wear, if I'm sort of doing stuff at home, you know, that involve, you know, digging, riding all those bikes, yes, so a sturdy pair of boots for those. But, so yeah, yes. The red gingham dress, do you know, and I think I can go down this avenue. An old girlfriend of mine used to have, I think she used to have what my mother, of course, from that generation, I don't know whether, cruel comment, the amount of insulting going on. This is Lister and Rimmer, I suppose. Craig and Chris.
You might be right, actually.
I mean, be right.
You are
softened.
Yeah.
A little bit. Might soften because the program's focusing on other things. That would be a great one to bring up with Doug. Yeah. I'd be very keen to know how he answers that. Yeah. Because that is all driven by the writing. And I think that for the sake of Red Dwarf, they should go back to being as antagonistic as possible towards each other.
But I think it's quite intriguing that it could be that the actual lines were quite antagonistic, as they always have been. But actually the performances were slightly, which is in the sense that we interpret them, you know, that there is actually a change and that's probably age and experience.
So in Series 3, it would be, Rimmer, you're a total snakehead! Yeah. Whereas in Series 10, it's Rimmer, you're a total snakehead. You know what I mean? It's slightly maybe softer.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. So that's a brilliant insight. You should go into TV criticism.
But it didn't feel that way. I mean, to me, it felt as if we were still, you know.
No, I can see that there's a
way. There was, now I think of it, there might have been a sense where, in earlier series, Lister might have turned on Rimmer and given him a tirade, whereas in this series it was, right, I'm going.
Yeah.
You know, the way you just don't have what you don't want to get into someone that's really get on your backs, you don't want to waste the energy, of course. So, yeah, that's an interesting observation.
We've got a question at the front here.
Hi, this is a question for Robert. Robert, any more carpool coming? When will it be on?
With a bit of luck, fingers crossed, later this year. I'm waiting for a sponsor, basically, and we've been doing all kinds of not very good at meetings. I don't do them very well, and other really professional people set them up and they all sit around with agendas and I go, I'm a spoiled teenager at the end of the room, so I'm not allowed to go to them anymore, so I'm not sensible. But we're hoping to get some lots of to-dos for later this year. We've got a long list of people who've agreed to do it who are amazing, including Boris Johnson. He'd agreed to do it a while ago. Yeah. Mojo. He'd agreed to do it quite a while ago, and I live in the Cotswolds, I live in Gloucestershire, about 100 miles from London. I got a call at 7 in the morning from his people. Can you pick Boris up at the Canary Wharf in about 10 minutes? Like it was a taxi service. We maybe need to kind of work on the whole way it works, you know.
I think the best carpools were the ones done in your own car, with your own camera, set up by you.
Yes, absolutely. No,
That's one around Shepperton.
That's exactly right. And I want to do more like that, Chris. That's what it'll be like, yeah. So hopefully more with everybody and everything, yes. So I don't know. I'm like that at the moment.
Okay, we've got questions just here.
Question really for Chris. Obviously Robert's on Twitter, Danny's on Twitter, Craig's on Twitter, Doug's on Twitter, Norman's on Twitter. Why aren't you?
Sorry, without, I'm not going deaf or anything, or I'm not stupid, a normal level of stupidity. Can you run through those names again? Okay, Danny, Robert, Doug, Craig, yeah. He was my comeback. Yeah. Very late.
Yeah.
He hasn't been tweeting long.
He has been now. He's got his iPad out.
Do all this with me, Bob.
I think so. But he's got it's for his regulars. So it's CC from Consult at CC from Consult. But that's now Craig. He says it's only me.
Okay, well, all I'm able to say with me and Craig don't do it, Rob and Danny do it kind of chorus, if you like, during a serious situation. Pass. I don't know. Twitter, I'm not a 21st century bloke. You can tell by the outfit. Craig was saying he's dressed like a geography teacher again. So, I'm not sure. I just don't think. I don't really have time. You know, for me to write an email or even send a text is like tricky. You know. So to have another thing where I've got to say something on Twitter to keep the tweets going. But you never know. Again, you never know.
Never say never.
Not the date's up for that.
I tried to help. I just love the fact that Craig said emails just like typing on the phone. Why would you bother? You know, he's absolutely opposed to it, wasn't he, for years? Never had a computer, never had anything. And he went from nothing to an iPad. And I tried to help set him up. And I love that. One of the suggestions. I think there's an audio about it. I recorded it because it was so funny. He was putting, how do I put in what password? And they said, it suggests the first famous person you met. He said, that was fucking Gary Glitter. I can confirm that he hasn't used Gary Glitter. He went with his mum to the department store in Liverpool when he was about 7 and met Gary Glitter. Just imagine his little mini Craig.
Okay, we've got time for 2 more questions. We've got one here.
Hi, this is called Chris. Would you consider doing any more mainstream movies other than Tomb Raider?
Yeah, I consider it. And I probably, working in a movie situation is totally different from doing a TV show. And, I mean, not a glamorous one in a sense. It's just this bottomless pit of money that comes into movie land, you know, which unfortunately gives them the chance to make people like me wait forever. You know, I'm not very good at waiting, you know, which is why I love doing the sort of massive machine shows, because boy, there's no waiting there. You get out of the car and you're shooting, you know. But in movies, they bring you in, they says, Chris, we might get to you at about 3 o'clock, you know, and that's 8 o'clock in the morning. So you're, for days on end, you're waiting for hours to, you know, and you know, you're sitting there in makeup, in costume, 10th cup of coffee, trying to watch the cricket. Angelina Jolie walking backwards and forwards down the corridor, and me going, let me watch the cricket. Leave me alone, get out of my face. It's annoying. It's annoying.
glamorous James Bond?
Well, of course, there's several. There's that upstart Daniel Craig. Of course, there's Roger. Working the eyebrows. I think I would be more like him.
Well, I think, I don't know, 53, I might have just passed the point of that, really. But you know, well, look, yeah, I mean, Ace is James Bond, that was a sort of kind of dreams that I have, you know, as a sort of exponent of showbiz back in the day. But I don't know, no, I mean, I'll consider any good role. You know, what I did enjoy working in royalties might all waited, so fingers crossed, maybe.
Okay, and final question, back central.
You mentioned earlier about Simon Pegg playing Crichton. Who else could you see playing your characters?
Well, I've always, we used to joke many years ago about when you know, Rob and Doug were sort of lured to Hollywood and they did the movie. This is like 20 years ago. I mean, I always thought Tom Hanks would be a great Crichton. I can't remember, because we did come up with the whole, I can't remember all the others, but I think it was, no, I can't remember anything.
Someone said Tom Cruise should play River.
Yeah. Tom Cruise, I think was very good.
Not tall enough. I don't know, really. I mean, well, when the American Red Dwarf was going, apparently there were big trouble finding an actor who could sort of lower their self-esteem enough to conjure the ego the size of a small radish required to play River. Don't know what that says about me. But I don't know, it's not obviously because River has this sort of British sort of failure, small man sort of in comedy, you know, that Britain's always had, you know, like Rules and Horses, you know, Dad's Army, all that sort of elements. I mean, I'm sure there are many people who can figure out crap, you know, but yeah, obviously you look at Simon Pegg, what's his name, Nick Frost, you know, that era, there's a few actors there who do a damn good job. So that's brilliant actors.
Let's hope they don't get any ideas.
No, I mean, interestingly, proper actors probably wouldn't want to do 24 years covered in rubber, which is probably the reason I got the job. There was nobody else to do it. We've asked some of the talented people, they've all said no.
We got the best.
Because this weekend, this is pre-publication day, it comes out next week, the newly released Man in the Rubber Mask with 43.17% more smeg. Is the re-release, so this covers my experiences in Red Dwarf from 1988 until 2012. So after Red Dwarf 10. So, and it's here if you want it last time. I think, hopefully it's here. No, I've got some more in the back in the booth. Just a Birmingham car boot sale.
That was a cheap plug. I think we're wrapped up there.
Ladies and gentlemen, Robert and Chris.